Also, nariyan doon. Okay, so start na. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I now call to order the previous conference for civil works January 27, 2026. So today, January 27, 2026. So before we start, may I ask everybody to stand for the opening prayer.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, thank you for bringing us together safe. As we prepare for this meeting, we ask that you prepare our hearts and lead us in your wisdom. May we set aside our own agendas and seek what you desire for us to accomplish during this meeting. Please direct our thoughts and guide our discussion. Help us to be attentive and respectful of one another's input and to work as a team. We ask that you grant us clarity of mind and lead us to helpful solutions. In Jesus' name, amen.
So once again, good morning. So may I ask our procurement head to read the attendance for the determination of the job.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. For today's pre-read conference for Civil Works, dated January 27, 2026. Present this morning, we have our back Vice Chairperson, Engineer Donald Mark F. Banada. We also have our back regular member, Sir Joseph N. Palima. And also we have our back provisional member, Engineer Harold C. Palangay. And 2% contract ID number 25PK0081 second advertisement. We have Engineer Joseleto S. Saluma. And from our prospective leaders, we have from Azar JB Venture Corporation, we have Ma'am Jennifer Leonardo. Good morning, Ma'am. And from Country Star Ventures Incorporated, we have Ma'am Virgie Leonardo. Good morning, Ma'am. And yours truly, your back head secretariat, procurement head, April Jane P. Picasalis.
Thank you, Ma'am April. With three DPWH committee members are present, so I declare that a quorum is established. And I also wish to inform everyone that this proceeding is being live streamed through our official YouTube channel and for transparency. So to start, may I ask our public planning science section to discuss the scope of work of the department.
Good morning once again. I will be presenting project ID 25AK0081 to our visitors and with my construction of classrooms, Tabok Elementary School, Lagonglong, Misamis Oriental. Our appropriation is 10,667,750 centavos. ABC is 10,663,970.48 centavos. Our duration is 165 calendar days. So this will be our perspective after completion of the said project. It's a 2-story, 4-classroom building. So this is our location vicinity. It's approximately 70 kilometers from DPWH office in Lagonglong City. So these pictures are the actual site pictures for the location. We have the front and rear view. Also the ground floor. So we have also another view for the ground floor. So for the second floor views, left and right view. Again, this is beside the covered court. So another view for the stairs. So our scope of work, completion of masonry, concrete flooring finish, masonry works, steel railings, painting on masonry works, painting on steel works, yellow windows, tiled toilet, septic bowl, sanitary works, plumbing, cold water and sewer line works, electrical works, front signage, cistern, water pumping system, complete roof beams, roofing trusses and complete gutter, ventilating system, complete with fire extinguisher and other related works. So this is a complete project. Two-story for completion of the building. For our bill of quantities, we have provision of dinner, 5.5 months, projects and clearances, 1 lump sum, project billboard, occupational safety and health program, mobilization, demobilization, general scaffolding and shoring, signages, all 1 lump sum. We also have structural excavation, common side, 169.96 cubic meters. Embankment or roadway structure, excavation, common soil, 166.15 cubic meters. Embankment from barrow, common soil, 45.91 cubic meters. We have gravel field, 23.16 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 3,000 PSI, 69.88 cubic meters. 4,000 PSI, we have 21.9 cubic meters. Reinforcing steel, deformed, grade 40, 3,973.61 kilograms. For our grade 60, 2,841.8 kilograms. And then our formworks and poles works, 790.59 square meters. Soil poisoning, 62.4 liters. For our CHB, non-load bearing, 100 mm, we have 103.84 square meters. We also have 150 mm, 394.30 square meters. For our concrete gutter on both sides, we have 46 meters. Doors flush, 10.7 square meters. Doors panel, wood panel, 17.28 square meters. We have steel lower door, 1.68 square meters. Frames, ground, seals, head, consoles, and mullion, 17 sets. Jealousy windows, glass windows, 19.2 square meters. Only glass window, only type 4.32 square meters. Finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. Residential casement, 43.2 square meters. Carpentry and joinery works, this blackboard, is a 1 lump sum. Cement floor finish with floor hardener, 486.45 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 905.95 square meters. Railings, 1 lump sum. We have ceiling, 4.5 mm. Metal frame, fiber cement board, 275.03 square meters. Reflective insulation, 228.13 square meters. Glazed tiles and trims, 66.79 square meters. Unglazed tiles, 25.56 square meters. Waterproofing, cement base, 229.7 square meters. Waterproofing liquid, 212.32 square meters. Painting works for masonry, concrete, we have 1,281.51 square meters. Painting works for wood, 59.72 square meters. Painting works for steel, 823.04 square meters. We have pre-painted metal sheets about 0.427 corrugated long span, 242.2 square meters. fabricated metal roofing accessory for reach and top rolls, 23 linear meters. For our flashing, we have 63.47 linear meters. For our gutter, we have 5 linear meters. For structural steel, we have one lump sum. The structural steel for trusses, 3,135.45 kilograms. For forlings, we have 1,905.43 kilograms. For bolts and rods, 96 pieces. Steel plates, 720.78 kilograms. We have sub rods, 119.34 kilograms. Cross bracing, 171.68 kilograms. We have turnbuckle, 16 pieces. So for sewer line, storm drainage, one lump sum, touch basin, 14 pieces. For the rest, plumbing fixtures, cold water line, septic mold, cistern, conduit boxes for electrical fittings, conduit works and conduit traffic, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main and branch breakers, lighting fixtures, all one lump sum. So that's all for the scope of work and bill of quantities.
Sir, good morning. Nalay tayo sa sir.
Ikaw na, styles. Naman siya na.
Right.
Ang styles.
Ang
Ang glaze, no glaze styles.
sa CR lang siguro nila.
Sa
Sa
CR,
CR lang nila kaya naman.
Arden floor, sinus yan. Wala ni tiles.
Gamay lang kay quantity CR. Madali sa mga for info, especially sa YouTube viewers, motivation na lang ito. Na naisip ko yung din. Only yung with the checklist, so maybe ask there's any clarification from our YouTube viewers na from our YouTube. More clarification pa ako na. Okay. So we proceed with the technical explanation.
Procurement of civil works. Documents comprise the bid. Technical and financial components. For the eligibility requirements, bidders are required to submit the following documents. First, a Filter certificate of registration under Platinum membership. Second, a statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Third, a statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC. Fourth, the bidder's computation of the net financial contracting capacity or NFCC. Finally, for joint ventures, a joint venture agreement or JVA in accordance with Republic Act number 4566, otherwise known as the Contractor's License Law and its implementing rules and regulations. Please be reminded that the failure of the bidder to update their FILJEF certificate of registration with the current and updated supporting documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the bidder's certificate. For the single largest completed contract, or SLCC, the bidder must have completed a contract similar to the project being bid. The value of the SLCC, adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices, must be at least 50% of the approved budget for the contract to be bid. However, contractors under small a and small e categories who do not have similar experience may still be allowed to bid, provided that the cost of the contract does not exceed the allowable range of contract cost of their registration in accordance with PCAP guidelines. Please note that the SLCC must be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor. Alternatively, a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or a similar performance and monitoring system may be submitted. For contracts with the private sector, an equivalent supporting document shall be required. For the net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, the bidder's computed NFCC must be at least equal to the approved budget for the contract to be bid. The NFCC is calculated using the prescribed formula, as shown. The values of the current assets and current liabilities of domestic bidders shall be based on their latest audited financial statements. Joint ventures may participate in the bidding process, provided that the primary purpose of each member is similar or related to the requirements of the project. Each member of the joint venture shall be jointly and severally liable to the procuring entity in case of any breach or failure to comply with the project requirements. For the submission and receipt of bids, each bid shall consist of two components, the technical component and the financial component. These components must be placed in separate sealed envelopes and submitted simultaneously. Bids shall be received by the Bids and Awards Committee, or BAC, on the date, time, and place specified in the invitation to bid. The first bid envelope shall contain the technical documents, which must include at the least a PhilJEF certificate of registration under Platinum membership, B, PCAB license and registration in the case of a joint venture, C, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, D, statement of the single largest completed contract, or SLCC, E, computation of the net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, F, joint venture agreement if applicable, and G, bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and validity period. H, project requirements, which shall include the following. 1, the organizational chart for the procurement project to be bid. 2, the list of contractors' personnel, for example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the project, along with their complete qualifications and experience. 3, the list of contractors' major equipment units, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project. 4, omnibus sworn statement in accordance with section 54.3 of this IRR. 5, latest general information sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information, BOI, duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for corporations. And 6, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, following the template attached as Annex A for all bidders, including sole proprietorship. The following forms are for your reference. For bid security, all bids under competitive procurement methods must be accompanied by a bid security. The bid security serves as a guarantee that the bidder will enter into a contract if awarded the project. The bidder shall submit either a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC, according to the following schedule. Cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, 2% of the ABC, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, 5% of the ABC, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company, 5% of the ABC. The omnibus sworn statement must be executed by the bidder or by its duly authorized representative. It should contain the requirements outlined in section 54.3 of the implementing rules and regulations of RA 12009, contractors' key personnel. The key personnel should meet the following number of years' work experience. The experience means total years of civil works experience of any nature in construction and engineering consultancy service. Include the tax identification number or TIN of the key personnel. Compliance to DEO. 98 series of 2016. Revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors, consultants, materials engineer, and to include the contact number of the materials engineer. Compliance to DEO. 148 series of 2024. Guidelines in the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineer. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that 1. The personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and 2. He or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office, pursuant to Department Order Number 9, Series 2012. The proposed key personnel and replacement must be named in the bidding document. The following are the key personnel required. 1 project manager with 5 years of general experience and 5 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached. The second is 1 project engineer with 3 years of general experience, 3 years of relevant, and is a DPWH accredited project engineer. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, including their project engineer certificate. The third personnel is 1 materials engineer who is a DPWH accredited materials engineer. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their materials engineer certificate. The fourth personnel is 1 foreman who has 5 years of general experience and 3 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached. The fifth personnel is 1 safety officer with 5 years of general experience and 3 years of relevant experience. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their certificate of training issued by DOL. The last personnel is 1 full-time health personnel. A valid and updated government issued ID with 3 signatures should be attached, as well as their certificate of training. For contractors' major equipment units, the contractor must provide proofs of ownership or other supporting documents for equipment that is owned, leased, or under purchase agreements. For leased or purchased equipment, a certificate of availability from the lessor or vendor must be submitted for the duration of the project. Proofs of ownership and supporting documents must specify model and year, capacity, performance, or size, plate number, motor number, body number, chassis serial number, engine serial number, specific location and condition of the equipment. These requirements are in accordance with Department Order 58, Series of 2012. For contractors' minimum materials testing equipment, refer to Department Order 11, Series of 2017 for the required equipment. The second bid envelope shall contain the following financial documents. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. Cash flow by quarter. Submission and receipt of bids. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. The address for receipt of bids submitted manually is Back Conference Room, 3rd floor, DPWH MOFDEO, Barangay 26, Hingo City, Misamis Oriental. For electronic submission, electronic bids _Misamis Oriental 1 at dpwh.gov.ph. Modification of bids. Bidders may modify their bid before the deadline for the receipt of bids. In case of modification, bidders shall not be allowed to retrieve their original bid, but shall only be allowed to send another bid, equally sealed, properly identified, linked to their original bid, and marked as modification and stamped received by the back. Withdrawal of bids. Bidders, through a letter, may withdraw their bids or express their intention not to participate in the bidding before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. They shall no longer be allowed to submit another bid for the same contract, either directly or indirectly. Withdrawal of bids after the deadline shall be subject to appropriate sanctions. The financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid process. The back shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. Completeness. No price and required item due to the government, RA 12,009. Indicating a 0 or a dash free to the government. All prices are deemed to include all taxes. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable BOQ, shall be considered non-responsive. Arithmetical corrections. Bid prices in figures versus words prevail. Total price per item versus unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item prevails. Stated total price versus actual sum of prices of component items. Actual sum of prices of component items prevails. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus unit cost in BOQ. Unit cost in BOQ prevails. Amount in price schedule versus amount in bid form. Amount in bid form prevails. Post-qualification. Legal requirements. Licenses, certificates, permits, agreements, and non-inclusion in blacklist. Technical requirements. Key personnel, minimum work experience requirements should be satisfied. Availability and commitment of major construction equipment and materials and laboratory equipment. Performance in ongoing government and private contracts. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any project, or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. Financial requirements. Bid price proposal. Required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents, when applicable. An ecstasy, within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the back that the bidder has the LCB, MIAB, MAB, or HRB, the bidder shall submit the following. All the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJEP certificate of registration, platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. The VAC shall recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB after the post-qualification process has been completed. Within 10 calendar days from receipt by the winning bidder of the notice of award, the following conditions should be complied before the contract may be awarded. Submission of the following documents by the winning bidder. Valid JVA if applicable. A valid PCAB license and registration for the type and cost of the procurement project to be bid for foreign bidders in infrastructure projects, when the treaty or international or executive agreement expressly allows submission of such license and registration as a precondition to the notice of award, or the SEC certificate of registration of the foreign corporation, or the SEC certificate of registration of the foreign consulting firm, or the authority or license from the appropriate government agency or professional regulatory body of the foreign professionals engaging in the practice of regulated professions and allied professions, where applicable. Posting of performance security by the winning bidder in accordance with Section 68 of this IRR. Signing of the contract by the parties. Common errors in the submission of bids. Failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission, indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Overlapping of pledge equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bids. Failure to submit supporting documents, such as the certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project, if equipment pledge is to be leased purchased. Negative slippage in the ongoing projects, negative 15% or more, or negative 10% in each of the 2 or more ongoing projects. Unsatisfactory CPS rating, incomplete pages of bid documents, technical and financial. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. Single proprietor. Signatory should be the owner, proprietor only. Corporation cooperative. Board secretary certificate and board resolution. Joint venture resolution agreement. Partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership.
And for the scheduled procurement activities for the presented project, so the deadline for the issuance or downloading of bidding documents will be on February 9, 2026 until 8:30 a.m. And hard copies are available at Procurement Unit 3rd floor DPWH DEO. And these bidding documents can be downloaded from DPWH website and PhilJEP's website. And for the receipt of bids, deadline will also be on February 9, 2026 until 10 a.m. And for the opening of bids, it will be on February 9, 2026, immediately after the submission of bids. And for the required category report, so for this contract ID number 25BQ0081 Sarpan Advertisement, the required category report is BICWO PLC or Buildings Construction Without Piles, Low-Rise Concrete Frame for 1 to 5 stories. And this is a sample of the technical and financial documents to be submitted. Note, the bid and supporting documents should be hard and properly bound. So that's Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Bill. So before we end up, any more clarification? Yes, ma'am. Ay hindi na siya required, ma'am, ang site inspection. Lala sa inyo ang pinaka-declare na wala sa omnibus for statement.
Sa kung system sa opening sa
So-
opening sa beginning.
Ay save lang niya po, ma'am, na first is the technical and second is the financial. Please check lang, ma'am, kay RA 12009 na ang mga gigamit. So, lahat tayo mga bagong forms. So, all the new forms are already downloaded. So, sa big document. Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Especially big form, ma'am. Okay. Big form. Like, ang criteria ang ginamit namin is NCB ako eh. NCRB towards the creator to participate. Same pagyapon last year. Yes, sir. If there's changes within this week, mag-post na po din. So, ito po lang po.
Ay, naka-training niyo, yung pamo. Ay, naka-training sa 12:00
oh, nasa.
From our YouTube viewers, if any queries. Yan. In addition lang ba, katong safety officer, pero mostly man po sa attached katong safety officer 2 na nakakandak o 5 days and 40 hours na training. Kaya mag problema man gusto may iba nakakandak safety officer 1 and then during sa CSSP na required na safety officer 2 basta more than 10 manpower. Mong required na nila na safety officer.
Pero wala pa.
Since there's no questions or query, so any motion for the adjournment of
Mr. Chair, I move for the adjournment of this daily conference for civil works dated tomorrow, 27
it was moved and seconded to declare this 3-week conference for civil works January 27, 2023 adjourned. So thank you everyone. Good